What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. I see Lester's Bananas here. Who else is in the house? Come on, somebody. Oh, he already awake, Jules. Mellow Yellow, Lester. Sheila, I got your email, Sheila. I will reply. Eileen, Lorraine, Deborah, Martha. We might need you on duty, Martha. Leslie, good evening. Oh, so positive. Ben, Corey, try it again. Scott, Iceman, Mike is in the house. Wow, 93 in the chat already. Y'all must have something to say. This is so bad, Genesis. Yolanda, Tim, Stephen, Mitch, Andrea, woo, Jane, Mike Wiseman. We need you because we need wisdom. We need some wisdom. Jean, hello. I need to hear the whole story with the new fever signing. April. All right, so listen, y'all. Wow. Evening blessings. Sup, Dream, Karen? Wow. Susie says fans are way overreacting. Is it Quinlan? Hey, hello. I'm ready. Sup. Well, you have seen that this is it's a public chat, but I want to give an opportunity for one of the perks for the MVP. I updated the perks, and one of them for MVP, GOAT, and Legend members of the channel is to be able to do an open mic. Barton, hello. Earl Long, Leslie, everybody. I'm doing well this chilly night. We are in preparation for a major storm. So I had to go to the supermarket today. And actually, I had a dental appointment, which got moved to today because of the storm expected. The appointment was supposed to be Wednesday. And then I had to get into the store, Walmart. And you know what that was like when a storm is a-coming. It was wild. And I was just having a good time with all the people as we were all trying to move around. And I was saying things like, I just feel such unity. I feel like we're all in this together. And then when I was leaving Walmart with a few other people who were leaving, I said, we survived. So they're talking about 10, 11, 12 inches. That's supposed to start sometime tomorrow, I believe. So, yeah. Okay, Greg, that's right. You are all right by me. So, yeah, we're expecting some serious snow. No ice, though, this time. So, praise God for that. Yeah, it's been wild. Jules said, I see you got a moderator to watch what's being said. Yeah, Martha's been a moderator for a while. You moderate 2 sports YouTube channels. It can be challenging, especially when the Chiefs beat the Bills. I can imagine. Hey, Monica. So, Basil. My MVP, Legend, and GOAT folks. Y'all can't be shy because we got the open mic for a reason. So, no, you're not really late, Araseli. I was talking about Walmart. Sheila, let me just put your comment up so I can see it. She says, we are a wait and see here. We think that the social media folks may be blowing this out of proportion, but we also have PTSD from the Nalissa here. Oh yeah, it does have a way of affecting people. Okay. I hate this signing. I don't think it's protecting the locker room. Okay, 55 degrees. Oh wow. Bastidas. Wonderful. So I need some, before I even say anything about this, obviously we're talking about Brianna Turner and her signing with the Indiana Fever. So, what I'd like to do before I share what I think, what I feel, this is open mic. So you don't need to be nervous. You can come on. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. And this is specifically a perk for MVP, legend, or MVP, legend, or GOAT members of the channel. You do not have to come on the video if you don't want to. We did this in our members live on Thursday, and some people, I think both people who shared, were just audio. They didn't want to be on video, which is fine. Lester said, Bree Taylor, it was Turner, but let me just everybody's saying Taylor. Bree Turner gonna average over 5 profile blocks and 8 tweets per game. That is too good. Too good. All right, Angela, curious to see if Turner makes it past training camp. Not sure she puts back her shopping carts. Wow. We got all kinds of comedians in the house. Oh, man. This is something else. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate it. Okay. So instead of just like blowing up the chat first, where are my MVPs who want to come on? Now, this is for MVP, legend, or GOAT members. You know who you are of the channel. I'm going to put the link in here. I want to hear from you first. I want to know exactly what you're thinking. If you're thinking, oh my goodness, she doesn't have the shopping cart put backer spirit, I want to know. Some of you feel like people are overblowing it. I saw that on Twitter. Somebody had commented that. Yeah, everybody's saying Taylor, right? All right, I don't have good. So let me start with my channel members, MVP, legend, and GOAT. So I don't want anybody else to jump on until they have an opportunity. Now, I want to hear from you. Don't be shy, okay? So this is the link. This is the link. It's clickable. So if you're a member of the channel at the MVP, legend, or GOAT level, come on, get on. You're on the air with Adrienne Ross. Come on now. We're the Adrienne Ross Show family. Okay? So, who's taking me up on the offer? You don't even have to be on video. You might have your head wrapped, your pajamas on. You might be eating a chicken wing. And so you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. But I want your voice tonight. Who's got it? Well, Corey, we heard a little something from her. She did issue a statement, and I'm going to quote this. Let me share this. It is the thumbnail. It's on the thumbnail, but let's go ahead and let's share this. And I want somebody ready to come on the Adrienne Ross Show. All right, so we're going to put up that statement, and I want to know, it's a good place to start. I want to know what you think about what this says. Here we go. Okay. So here's a quote shared by the Indiana Fever on their page. She says, I am ecstatic. I love strong words. There's a strong adjective for you. I am ecstatic to join the Fever organization and compete for a championship. I was drawn to the team's commitment to investing in women and providing the best professional atmosphere for success. I can't wait to arrive in Indy and get to work. Brianna Turner on signing with the Fever. So there you have it. I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. This organization is about, I want to win a championship. This organization is invested in women. So let me stop the share. Who's coming on? Who's talking? Let's go. MVP, I'm gonna start calling you out like the teacher in school. And you guys know what member you are. Who's the MVP in the house? April, where you go? I start calling you out. I don't have your level of membership here. So I'm at you got a Sheila McNeil, April. Where are you? Once you get on and open your mouth, the rest is easy. The rest is easy. Are you telling me y'all all too scared to get on here? Is that what you said? Is that what's up? You don't know? Jake, just click that link, Mellow Yellow. Click that link right there. There it is. Okay, Sheila. Wonderful. I'm going to add you to the stage. Anybody else want to be added? Just go pop on and I will add you to the conversation. This is wonderful. Wonderful. I'm going to add you to the stage. Anybody else want to be added? Just go pop on and I will add you. After what later. All right.
From last year when she
Sheila, you there?
Stand up.
Can you hear me, Sheila?
Oh,
Sheila, you there?
Oh, hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, yeah, I think you have to turn off your you might have to turn off your something in the background. Because there's a delay. All right. How's that? I think that's better. Here's Richard coming too. Sheila, are you with us? There's a delay. That's better. Here's Richard coming too. Sheila, are you with us?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a certain delay, but there's also the feedback we can hear.
Yes.
You have to mute YouTube. There's also the feedback we can hear.
I'm actually casting from my phone onto the TV.
Oh, okay. I think you're gonna have to mute. Somebody said volume, but it's not my end that's doing it. Let's see what we got. Hold up. Let's go with Richard. Richard, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So Sheila, mute yourself for a moment here because you're lagging behind, I think, on that streaming.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm here.
Richard, I got you. I hear you perfectly.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I want to hear from you. I want to know what's up.
Okay, this is cool that we're doing this. It's like putting a round peg into a square hole for me. We're talking about the latest signing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Brianna Turner. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, just her name popped out of my head.
Yep.
Just from what I've picked up today from watching some of the other shows, because this is where I get my news. It's from you guys.
Okay.
Ben and some of the other ones. It's awesome to learn so much, but I just don't like it. I'm really upset. It's like I've been let down, and I didn't see it coming. And I listened to all the hype, in Kelly We Trust and all that stuff, and just the fact that I'm on here even talking about it. I mean,
yeah,
it's
for
crazy.
real.
I got invested in the fever. And
okay, let me ask you a question because I'm a question asker. So let me ask you a question.
Therapy for me.
Yeah, you feel like you were let down. Now, did you feel that way for any other signing?
Brianna, what's the other one? Bonner.
Okay,
that's when it started to cascade downwards for me was with her, but I still hung in there. She seemed like she's good. She's gonna do good with the team. But because of Sophie Cunningham, especially her being there. I could definitely see some conflict in the locker room with this new one.
Okay.
Because they are so diametrically opposed.
Right.
And,
okay. So so you feel like the front office let the fans down, or is it possible the front office knows something that we just don't know?
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm pulling at straws. I'm hoping. I'm constantly have to dissect my hopes and faiths. Is I have to keep whittling away and making it smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's what I've done since I started this whole Caitlin Clark thing that caught my eye one day watching the, Iowa. Here I am. And now I'm invested and I'm already divested. But I just like watching you. And I like watching some of the others.
Yeah.
And it's like my new way to get information.
Sure. Yeah. Now somebody posted, Beastie Sam posted. Now Turner and Sophie have already been teammates because they were in Phoenix.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's so maybe that's good. That'll give me something that they know how to work with each other.
Yes.
And get along.
Right.
Because I'm just going from my own head, going, okay, wait, this isn't going to add up.
Right. And it still feels to you like what did you say? A square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, or the other way around. I mean, it's one of those deals where it's just now if they have worked together, which I didn't know about, that's why I watch these shows.
Yeah,
is that might work then?
Well, I don't know how well.
Know that.
I don't know how well it worked. I don't know how well it worked.
Well, there you go. And then also the fans don't know because those fans are cheering wholeheartedly when I watch for all the players on the Fever. And Caitlin leads it, but they want to, as a fan, you want to cheer for any basket any teammate makes.
Yes.
As well as Caitlin. And how in the heck, with all of this bad stuff out there from her Instagram or TikTok or X account that she posts on, and even some of the others, but not so bad. How do you just get all in on that as a fan in going to buy a $200, $300 ticket to watch a Fever game? I'm just really, and me at home going, I can't do it. Right. And I'm trying to divest and invest. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure it out just like everybody else.
Yeah, you're processing it. You didn't see it coming, like you said.
No,
a lot of us were feeling really, really good, and then this was like, oh, curveball, right?
And especially with the shopping cart analogy that Stephanie, I thought, wow, this lady runs a tight ship. When really, she was right there with Dejanay at Connecticut, and we don't know if Stephanie really did have a problem with that crap that Dejanay was popping on Caitlin. We don't know what in the locker room. Did she like, hey, what are you doing, man?
Right. No. Right. Well, I just
don't know the deal here.
I just answered another question on. I just was looking through the comments. I don't know, about an hour ago, and someone said, "Well, I still don't understand if Stephanie White's so wonderful. Then why did she let all that go down with Dejanay?" And so I said, "Well, I've addressed this many times, but I'll address it again, and that is she left. So that could be a sign." And number two, one of the things about coaching and teaching, a lot of times the higher ups tie your hands with certain players. I mean, it's just like they're untouchable. And you got your Alyssa Thomas and stuff.
Right.
And sometimes there's some things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know about and you don't like it. So eventually you make the decision to leave. So perhaps that has something to do with it. But like you said, we really don't know. But I guess we're going to find out.
And then the whole team collapsed after that. So it's like, I had to get out of here.
Yeah.
I saw another, the grass was greener in Indiana, but at the same time, I got to get out of here. So it was like she got both, because if she was leaving because of that bad element in Connecticut, and then the one girl from Chicago got left behind, I mean, this is more like a soap opera, a daytime soap opera.
No, this is the WNBA. It is a soap opera. I mean, it just is. Okay, so thank you so much. You can stay or you can step away. I got
I'll step away and enjoy your show, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Mellow Yellow. Is it Mellow Yellow or Mellow Yow?
Mellow Yellow from the
Mellow
old
Yellow.
60s.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You're
Okay.
doing good, I can see.
Okay, yeah. I want to know. I want to know what you're thinking. You heard what Richard just said. He's got some concerns. He feels like he was blindsided. What about you?
I feel a lot like Richard did because I watched that interview with her and how she said that winning is not, the end all, that we're going to get the banners up.
Oh, you talking about Stephanie's interview?
Yeah. Stephanie's interview. So I
Mhm.
basically felt a lot like Richard did.
Yeah.
That what she was saying, it's hard to be able to trust her now.
What's your main concern with Miss Turner?
Well, basically, she's an activist, and we saw a lot of her old tweets.
Mhm.
I was just reading an article by Sports Skittle or something.
Yes.
And they were talking about, all the tweets that she hates Caitlin Clark and she hates Fever fans. And today she put up a tweet within 24 hours. And she said, I dislike misogyny. And she went through all the isms.
Yeah.
About 10 of them.
Yeah.
And that was today.
Yeah, it was today. I'm looking for it right now because I just saw it not that long ago. If I can. Okay, here it is. She put up today. Let me put this up. So everyone, I don't know if I can do that with the guest. Maybe not. I'll read it. Okay. She wrote, friendly reminder that I'm against all forms of discrimination, including racism, sexism, homophobia, misogyny, and transphobia. I often advocate against these discriminatory practices. Feel free to unfollow, mute, or block me if that is bothersome to you. Always protect your peace. Now, this is not an old tweet. Okay?
No, it's a new one.
This is a new one. Oh goodness, there were some comments that went after that. I hadn't seen these because I'll save my comments, but I don't know what was said, but it appears that she also wrote, I will not bend the knee or change my online advocacy efforts to appease others. While I anticipate receiving criticism, hostility, and invalidation, I will not tolerate discrimination. If I'm not for you, there are about 150 other W players that you can support instead. Wow. I'm just seeing this.
You think she would have said something like, hi, Fever fans, welcome,
She did say she was looking forward to it. I read that.
Well, that you read, I don't believe that she wrote that. The one that was that you read earlier, that long one?
Yeah.
Under her picture?
Yeah. That under her picture there.
Yeah, and I don't believe that she
said,
that.
For those who joined us late, this was put out. I am ecstatic to join the Fever organization and compete for a championship. I was drawn to the team's commitment to investing in women and providing the best professional atmosphere for success. ... So I don't know what else she said in the ... Then she went on, I can't wait to arrive in Indy to get to work. But I just read, she just let us know that she is who she is and she doesn't plan to stop her online advocacy. She just told us. You have a problem with that?
Well, that doesn't sound like her speaking from reading all her tweets that she deleted. Mm-hmm. Did you read all the tweets she deleted?
No. And I will say this. And I was going to hear from you guys and then say it. She absolutely means absolutely nothing to me. Her name sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not familiar with her game or anything. I mean, obviously now, because I'm seeing the videos of her blocking shots and things like that. But I don't hang out on that cesspool called Twitter.
I don't either.
I just don't. And so because I don't, I missed all the stuff that was going on before. I'm just hearing about some of this stuff now that she said about the Iowa team. And all the advocacy and the stuff during the election or whatever. So that's all new to me. And
I just heard it from Ben and some of the other podcasters.
Okay.
No, I don't hang out there either. It's too toxic for me.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's a definite cesspool.
So I am surprised that that they would allow someone that's has such toxic social media.
Yeah, to be on there. And the interesting thing about it is that reading what I just read, I was thinking, well, maybe they entered into some kind of agreement where she will hold back on that. But she just put out. She just put out that she's not going to.
That didn't last long, did it?
That didn't last long.
No.
So, all right. So you're concerned.
All right. Thank you. I'll let someone else speak.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So someone else. I just put the link in there again. All right. They will disconnect. Okay. I don't know. You're still showing up on the studio there. I'd like to hear from someone else. We have two people who have concerns. The Dream Detective says she sounds toxic. Do I have MVP? I'm going to open this up to anyone. If I don't have MVP and Legend and GOAT members, you obviously are. This is your time to get on a 1-2 on the microphone. So don't be shy. I really want to hear what you're talking, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And let's do it. Let's do it. Anybody else? Okay, so you guys are going to leave it at that. Now, Sheila, I'm going to put your comment up because, let me see, kick from the studio. I think I got to kick her. No, don't want to do that. Sheila says she needs media training, like you advocate for, Adrienne. Her message is not horrible, but maybe the way she presents it is not the best. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if media training is going to fix this one because I don't know. I mean, she's already battling with the fans. This is the WNBA. The WNBA is, and I'm going to say it, even though I just had a comment before I came on here from someone who actually said to me, it was about the Nike, Asia Wilson and the Nike. And someone actually said, stop with the woke stuff. I'm really, I don't know. I like your stuff, but I'm tired of that. It's wearing me out and whatever. You can imagine what I said, which was pretty much, if you're worn out, you're just going to have to be worn out. But this, and she said she was tired of hearing about the activist stuff. Well, this is an activist league. It really is. And it's not, if you want to bury your head in the sand and pretend that it's not, that's on you, because they're not burying their heads in the sand. They wear it as a badge of honor and they tell you that. So you can waste your time getting mad at me for calling it what it is, about whether it's this league or whether it's Nike or whoever it is. I'm going to call it out. If you can't handle it, I mean, we all have choices to make in life, right? So is it Araseli? You can tell me now if I'm pronouncing this right.
You are, actually. Araseli.
Araseli, say it again.
Araseli.
I get to say my accent. Araseli. I like that even better.
Correct.
Araseli, would you please tell us what you're thinking?
Well, there's a couple of things that I think when I am looking at the roster that they have built so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got to think about. She wanted to go to the Indiana Fever.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, right? To me, I had to remove myself emotionally from the Twitter stuff that she has gotten into and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to think about, what is it for her?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's exposure.
True.
Exposure because of how little her she's only 26, 27 years old, or 28, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think she might be 28, I think.
Correct. And so she's still fairly young compared to her. She's in her what I call the mature peak of their athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, right?
Yes.
And so to me, I would think that she is, and everybody's going to be a free agent in 2026,
mm-hmm.
right? Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, I guess I would have to look at it as everybody's going to try to get the most exposure for the 2026 free agency. I mean, they're trying to raise their stock, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's going to have so many open roster spots that
Right.
it's going to change the entire dynamic of the WNBA and every team, pretty much. You know?
So you're saying, if I hear you right, I'm going to translate for you. If I'm hearing you right, you're saying you don't trust that she's coming for the right reasons.
She's coming for her right reasons, right? For exposure. She wants to be able to. 2026 is going to be a contract year for a lot of people. And so she wants to be one of those people that gets a good contract, a really good contract versus a minimum contract.
Do you think, and I'm going to open this up because we have some other people who joined us. Thank you, Araseli, for your comments. Feel free to say or whatever, however you want to do it. But I have Corey. Now, this was a public chat, and it was supposed to be open mic for my MVP, Legend, and GOAT members, and I opened it up. And some have jumped on and some have not. So I said, we're going to just open this thing up and talk about it. So I see we've got Corey, DePope, and Johnny. Piggyback off something somebody said. I'll start with you, Corey, since you've been on first. And you can come on video if you want to be on video. It's up to you. Corey, what you got?
I'm going to stay off video. I just, I'm new to the WNBA, right?
Yes. I
kind of came in with the whole Caitlin wave, but I've been watching basketball for a very, very long time.
Yes.
And so I put a comment in earlier, and it was about coaches that have the ability to work with dynamic personalities. And my comment was about Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
And how much of an interesting personality he was. And this is not to say that Turner is at all a Dennis Rodman.
Right.
But I think it's important that, first and foremost, I'm really not interested in hearing all of her social justice stuff, right? At all.
Yes.
But if she's going to be on the team, she needs to be supportive of what the team's doing. She needs to be totally bought into where the team is going. And she needs to make sure she's protecting the players. That's number one. Now, how she feels about various things is totally different to me. But being a winner, when you look at some of the best teams who have ever done it, whether it's the Golden State Warriors or the Bulls, you've got Draymond Green, if you will, and you've got Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
But good coaches know how to work with dynamic personalities.
Now, tie this in to Brianna Stewart. What are you saying then?
Because the whole thing is
Brianna Turner.
Everyone is saying that Turner is they don't like what she says, they don't like her attitude, they don't like what her tweets have been and what she has had to say, but how she is personally versus what she does on the court can be two totally different things. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now
I think there's a lot of prejudging here before she's actually played her first game with the Fever. Okay,
so I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna let DePope jump in here. Let me just throw a name out because I'm hearing a lot of people say, "Yo, we passed up Kennedy Carter with 17 plus points per game. We might as well have taken her." Like I'm hearing, I don't listen to a whole lot of different people, but I have heard that. I'm still
Kennedy
not
Carter put her hands on Caitlin. Wait a minute, that's totally different. We're talking about how somebody feels.
Yes.
Now, Kennedy Carter put her hands on Caitlin. That's a whole nother ball game.
I agree with you. But I just want to throw that out.
Somebody,
yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Excellent. DePope, you agree or disagree? He's the first one to say maybe they know how to work with her.
I mean, no. I listen. One bad apple out the bunch can spoil the bunch.
All right. Wait a minute. Ronald said DePope about to cook, so come on, cook.
Shout out to Ronald. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you too. I didn't want to just come in like that, like as we don't got a type of relationship. Hello, Miss Adrienne Ross. How you been?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Shout out to well as well.
And shout out to the shirt though too.
The shirt, he said.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Canuck, I just want to say thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate it. Just hold your thought to Pope. He says I can't I can't something VC, but Turner has never said a bad thing about the Fever or CC. She in fact has thrown CC flowers. People just mad about her outspoken opinion. All right, so I'm going to throw that out, and thank you again for that donation. And okay, go ahead and cook.
Okay, well, I mean, the race baiting she likes to do, I've seen that. That's my problem with her as well. Along with the activist mindset, the Twitter fingers, to go on Twitter with every issue and every thought she has. She likes to, and it seems to me she doesn't realize she's a professional basketball player. She seems more interested in her graduating with an MA for social justice and that type of stuff. Okay, if that's your main thing, then let that be your main thing. But keep the main thing the main thing.
Well,
and
one of her comments, since you mentioned that she seems to forget she's a basketball player, one of her comments here on X was, I have interest and a life outside of my playing career. I do not expect or crave validation from social media. I have low expectations from Twitter, and I'm cognizant that many will reject my takes. I literally have an MA in social justice and human rights, so of course I speak up.
Right, and that's what I mean. It's like, lady, you get 9 minutes a game, 1 point per game, and you blocking more people on Twitter than you got blocked shots in the game. I'm just saying. I mean, what you doing? You in the gym? You in the?
So you're not in agreement with the Fever making this move?
Not at all. On top of what a lot of us probably a little bit glossing over is the fact, what was that, 2 years ago almost, or a year and a half ago, when Caitlin Clark in Iowa had the parade. And for a grown woman to have a problem with that, for you to go out your way and tweet, oh, I didn't know runner-ups had parades, like as if you don't understand the historical run that Iowa and Caitlin Clark just went on top of, right? On top of, since you got an MA and all of this, I hope it's some in business sense, because look at how she changed the landscape of women's college basketball, from the attendance to the viewership, and now she's about to bring this over to the WNBA. Why are you going out your way to tweet, you got a problem? I didn't know it was runners up to have a parade, as if you don't understand. This lady just broke records, and she set precedent for women's basketball.
I'm going to push back on you just a little bit, and then I'm going to have Johnny Reb come in. My pushback is this, not in anything you said. My pushback is when she said what she said. It's been a couple years. So that makes no difference?
Oh, no, not at all. That shows me the ill intent, the ill feeling that you had, the hater in your soul, that you had to go out your way to tweet that way back then. So you've been feeling some type of way. And if we want to go into the recent events, when Kennedy Carter and they cried victim, and they was getting harassed by the one TMZ paparazzi. Yeah, she went to Twitter then too, and all this harassment and racism and this, and like, you taking things way out of context. It was one dude there, right. Okay, and you tried to blow that up into something, tried to make nothing out of something. You called Indiana Fever fans racist, misogynist. You even started out your tweet with friendly reminder. Let me remind you, just in case, as if people who be on Twitter haven't already looked at your Twitter feed and see what type of time you're already on. But you want to remind us to make sure we know that you with the other type stuff. Okay.
It's a friendly reminder. All right. All right, Johnny, what you got?
Well, I first started watching basketball because of Caitlin Clark. I'm not even a basketball fan before that, other than just pick up games playing it. But playing it was more fun than watching it. I always found it boring. Until I saw Caitlin Clark making those threes.
Yes.
But I come to the Fever fandom by way of Ock Nation. You wear Ock. He's
yeah,
been
sure.
following.
Ock Nation TV, yes.
Yeah. So, and I also found Venom. Venom had some interesting things that she didn't ever personally disrespect Caitlin Clark overall, other than that one Iowa basketball tweet.
Mm-hmm.
She was more going after the fans, which stupid decision, I would think, because if you get more fans, you get more money. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a wait and see. Oh, the blocks are good, but the locker room vibes I'm not sure about. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm not particularly a fan, but I'm not against. It's just
You're on hold. You're withholding. You sound like you feel a little bit like uncomfortable, but you're willing to withhold complete judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. He's got that level-headedness, right? All right. So we got a couple people who said, let's wait and see. She hasn't shown up to Indy yet. She just told us she can't wait to get there. So is there anybody else who has something that you want to jump on? If not, I want to see if Araseli or those who are here have more to say. But anybody else want to jump in and piggyback off of something that's been said?
Well, I just want to throw one more in here.
Yeah, who's that, Corey?
This is Corey. So,
okay, what you got?
The other thing that I think is critically important, and I believe, even though Caitlin was deeply criticized when she said it, I think she was being 100% sincere when she started talking about her position and when she articulated from her own mouth white privilege. Mm-hmm. Not that she necessarily feels that she's been unfair, but she understands the difference between her position and everyone else's. I think that alone is going to really temper a whole lot of what people are saying between her and Turner, because she's already set a stage for a completely different engagement with her and her teammates and the rest of the W. And I don't think she was virtue signing. It could be the fact that she actually believes that. I personally think it was a bit over the top, but it came out of her own mouth, and I believe it came out of her heart.
So by bringing that up, are you saying that she will get along better with Brianna Turner because she said, I'm going to try to lift the black people in the league and that I have white privilege? Is that what you're saying, that is going to make things better?
Bottom line, she and I think intentionally she set the table for that, seeing the environment she was in. So that all by itself, I think, is going to create a whole nother engagement for her and her teammates. Now, the truth is the real thing. And she's going to outshine. It's just going to happen, right? But in the process of it, she's not being unhumble about the whole thing. And that's just how I see it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. It's interesting. You took us back a little bit. You were going to say something, DePote.
Yeah, he took me back too right there a little bit. So I was kind of trying to process what he was saying. But okay, that's very interesting. That was a good take. Appreciate that take, Corey. That was a good take. Yeah, no, it's just with the Brianna. It's not the fact that she even said something ill will about Caitlin Clark. She said something ill will about the Indiana Fever fans specifically, and then go over there and sign with us. I don't understand that part. And then the fact that she's a race baiter. I don't think a lot of y'all is paying attention to that. It's not about. We don't need that type of energy in the building. She's more so about social justice and human rights and all of that stuff than basketball. We got hoopers that we just signed up. Dewana Mama Bonner, Kelsey Pistol Mitchell, Sophie, I call her Spicy Sophie Gunningham, That's that's my gun in PC-22 rifles. We got snipers. Okay, why do we bring this over here with us? I think we was already we 9 deep before she came. I think we was a good 9 deep with Sydney Carlson, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall, Dantes Demarius coming off your bench, and then that first five: AB, Natasha Howard, Kaylin Clark, and then you had the draft pick. And still now, some people were saying that they might use her to get a higher place in the draft, might package her up to get a higher draft pick. And so that could be genius on Kelly Cristobal's.
So are you sort of saying she might not be on this? This might be a maneuver.
I think it is because it doesn't go with what Stephanie White said about shopping carts being left in the middle of the parking lot. She's one of those type of people. She leaving a shopping cart full of activism all in the middle of the parking lot. And then as Kelly Cristobal said, they told her to protect the locker room. That you're not protecting the locker room like this, especially you just traded for Sophie Cunningham, who she has already said she's with one side of the course when it comes to the presidential election. And this one you bringing in says she on the whole other side. She seems to wear it on her sleeve.
But they have played together.
They have played before the election, though.
Sure, yeah.
They didn't play together before.
That's true. That's true.
That makes a difference.
Here's my thought, though. Here's my thought. The whole league is of a certain persuasion concerning social issues and political issues. It is
speak on it.
It's extremely rare. So perhaps what I deem like, okay, that's locker room problem, locker room rot. That might just be status quo in this league. I mean, I think the Indiana Fever is a special team. Do I think that there are people in the Indiana Fever organization who feel the same way that she does? Yeah, probably.
For sure.
But they're not getting all over social media and putting it out there.
There you go.
I also thought perhaps if they brought her in, they might have said, well, hold down all that. But she just told us, I just read it, she doesn't intend to hold it down. Let me just say, is it Young Moose 263? Thank you so much for that. And it says she will see. Coach and team will coach her to get right. But if she wants to do anything, she'll be a free agent before 26. She came to the Fever because the sellouts. Yeah, go to Chicago if you want. So there's another one saying that she's coming for the attention that's there. And thank you again for that donation. All right, Johnny, Corey, Araseli, you still hanging in there. Is there something you want to add?
Well, it still goes to that, obviously, exposure, right? Because you have to think that money, I mean, see, the new CBA is going to come into play and all players are going to be vying for more money. Mm-hmm. And so, does she want a roster spot where she's not going to be one of the last people to get picked? No, she's going to play for a position that could be possibly a starter or could be a one or the second person off the bench, and stuff. And so, yes, there is a lot of self-interest in her signing because she's going to be on TV the minute that she does get. She's going to make the most of it, and she's going to produce, and she's going to do well by the team for winning, right? But it's a self-serving type of thing, and that's okay because it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to be liked by all the fans. I mean, and that's her stance. She's standing on that, right?
Sounds like it. Yeah. Corey Johnson, thank you so much. I really appreciate that donation. Yeah, she's standing on it. I mean, here's my thing though, honestly, and maybe I'm just an ultra principled person, but the eyeballs and any extra money I'm not going to go play for a team I think has a bunch of racist fans and that's just me. So when I hear these people who said some of the things that they said, and then they're like, "Yes, sign me up, sign me up." I don't. It doesn't. Where am I off? Somebody put me. Where am I wrong? Are people? Do people just don't care? Like, if I really think that those fans are so horrible and they said such terrible things, am I showing up there to play?
I think the outrage is performative. It's really, I can use that to get my message out. I'm not really concerned about them actually, but if I badmouth them, I get clicks, I get likes, I get that. I do worry that the social justice is going to take a backseat to the actual preparation and work in the gym to be ready to go for the games.
All right. Well, anybody else got anything else, or anybody else want to come on?
See, and Miss Ross, I have no doubt that Caitlin Clark, she'll be able to win over teammates. Even if they had an ill will feel about her beforehand, her authenticity and her down to earth, her line is shine through. Her line is shine through regardless, right? It's
1 second. Big Doom, you're welcome to. Here's the link again. All right, keep going. And thank you.
Yeah, my thing with her is like I said, her social media, her Twitter fingers, and the way she wears her politics on her sleeve. Like you said, that league is full of people who believe the same thing but she wears it on her sleeve, and that could cause a division. Even just with a Sophie Cunningham being, where she was standing, where she stand at, and so, and then you have people who are on that side, they're going to side with Sophie. People who are on her side, they're going, we don't need that in the Fever locker room. No. We don't need that possibility, and that she's a possibility. You know what I mean? That's my problem. I don't think nobody else they brought in is a possibility for drama, and she brings the possibility. So we'll see. We'll see.
Let me ask this though: do we need a team of a bunch of people who all think alike?
No, not at all.
No.
Just don't wear your politics and your religion on your sleeve.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
I feel like it's only I hear this in the W, but we already know that kind of diversity exists in the NBA. I mean, you got people from all over the place, and you get traded, you get sent, you get shipped, you get sold. You're a commodity, and so for this to be that way in the W, I think it's just going to be hard for women to play the game and to not have to deal with this kind of emotional baggage. It feels unfair. I mean, just to be honest, right? But at the same time, it's a part of it, right? So, as you said, there's a disproportionate amount of this league that's full of all of this kind of stuff. It just is. So to even imagine that it's not even on the team, or they're not talking about it in the locker room, or they don't feel a certain way. This Miss Turner, she's gonna have to deal with the public, but the team itself, they already know how to do this, and they know how to win, and they know how to gel together. And let's just remember, everybody likes a winner.
Yeah, that's true. And she's and Turner, she sees this team shaping up. Tell it like it is. I put her comment up because I don't know exactly what she meant, but I know how I interpret it. She said, "Why is, quote, social activism a one-way street?" Which it seems to be in this league. Like, you're only allowed to be active a certain way, which is probably why you get your Sophie Cunningham, and she's supposed to be quiet and shut up and delete her tweet if she doesn't fall in line with a certain political agenda. Why is it just one-way street? So are there any activists there are a bunch of activists. It's an activist league. Are there any activists in the league who are saying, hey, I don't want to hear about that white privilege. We work for everything we get. Hey, I voted for Donald Trump. You got a problem with that? Hey, is that out there at all? Or are they expected to be quiet because they're the other. The biggest issue in this league is not, I mean, race figures in, but the biggest issue in this league is ideology. It's ideology. And as long as you toe the line with our ideology, we're fine. Like I said, I just got this message before I came on here for someone who put in my comments, because I called Nike woke, and she actually put a comment. If you're listening, hello. She said, stop with the woke. Stop with they're an activist stuff. It's wearing me out. It sounds like MAGA, whatever she said. So it blows my mind, people like Turner perhaps, who feel that you have to have a certain level of arrogance to tell somebody else that they're supposed to back up to your ideology. That's on a whole nother level. That somehow your political beliefs are more important than mine and your values are more important than mine. But that's what you see in this league.
Especially with Bree Turner.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I heard Natasha Cloud, right? Wasn't it Natasha Cloud who said, I have a problem with anybody who she saw it as voting against her as a person. If you didn't, if you didn't vote the way she voted, it was like, I don't really can have anything to do with you because to me, you're voting against me, which in other words says she thinks she's right and you're wrong. So you're
did the same thing.
Yeah, so you're supposed to bow to her mindset. So I don't know anything about Turner. I didn't know nothing about her, which says something to me about her game. Right? I didn't know anything about her. And what I have heard about her is concerning to some people. But I do have some other comments that I am going to say about that maybe we need to be looking at it in a certain way. But I'm going to hold off because I just want to hear, more. All activists are emotional, Freedom Runner said. Yeah, it's true. It's true. What else? What else you got?
Now her last tweet, the last little bit, it said when she said she was going to be distancing herself from social media. Seems like Kelly had a talking with her, and that was her last little quick shot. And she let him know, I ain't going to be on here much, so good luck to y'all. Have fun doing whatever. But let me shoot my shot real quick before training camp start. But it seemed like I read into that. That's what I read into that she must have some kind of talk like, you got to chill out on social media.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. I haven't been as active on here lately, but wanted to share what my page has consisted of. Araseli, what are you saying there? Thank you, Michael.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. You were going to say something?
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously with this league, like you said, Adrienne, this is an activist league, right? And so what better than in the Indiana Fever to invite one of the most active activists of the league into the team and then mitigate that in a certain way and drive it in a different way to be able to change what's coming out of that.
I think they better not listen. That's like going into a relationship thinking you're going to change him.
No.
I mean, you got to hope for something because we can't do anything about it. It's already been done. It's already signed. The only thing that we can hope for is that somehow she stops with the hating, right? And that she starts trying to pour herself into the training, into making herself better to maybe be able to get on the court. Because what is it? We're going to have a trading deadline at some point. And then we have, we're going to need to either move somebody out. I don't even know if we're ready to say that we got everybody on the roster and, somebody else could become available.
I just saw a comment where someone said that they agree with the Pope that she's a chess piece. Michael, thank you for that donation. He said Pope said it. She's a real possibility for bad thing. However, I think the locker room and front office is filled with grown women. So there's that. And then Clarkonomics said everyone is forgetting Sophie and Bree Turner have already been teammates on the Mercury and it hasn't been a problem. Why different for the Fever? I think the Pope touched on that a moment ago. That was before the election. And she had something to say. I mean, and she might, and it might be just fine. I'm not even coming from I'm not just coming from the perspective of Sophie Cunningham. I mean, she might have no problem with other people feeling the way they feel, but she's just gonna say what she has to say. That's a possibility. I don't know.
I also understand that it's not a guaranteed contract, so if they decide that they need to part ways because she becomes too much of a problem, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Yeah. And they can easily justify that because, I mean, every time I hear somebody talking about how well she played, they're talking about 2020 and 21. 2020 and 2021. You don't hear, there's not a whole lot to, I had, like I said, I hadn't heard much about her. I think someone said something about 2022, but it's 2025. Like, what are you bringing to the table to justify this, except something that I'll save for later to say?
Just length.
Go ahead.
It's just length. It's just we need length
and defense.
And defense. And so if that's, if it's skin and bones out there, I mean, there isn't much to pick from, maybe, and they're not thinking that they're going to be able to get somebody out of the draft that's going to be somewhat productive in that role. Mm-hmm. They're going to get somebody, obviously, and Brianna Turner to be able to get some minutes, right? Obviously, she's not expecting to be a superstar out there. She's not expecting to be a 10-minute player either.
Does anybody know how many minutes she's averaged over her career?
Something like 9.
Is it about 9?
Something around there.
Okay.
And I think we could have got a rookie to do 9 minutes, 1 point.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't
disagree.
Somebody else said 9 as well. Jamie said 9. Okay, so hey, Retro, here's the thing. If all the other stuff falls in place and she can get out there and block shots like I'm seeing videos of her doing, and everything else is in place, like if it wasn't for all the other stuff, everybody would be like, oh my goodness, because this is a defense to offense team. As we said it over and over again, because they're going to be better on defense, it's going to make them be able to run on offense. And that's what we want. We don't want to have to grind it out in the half court when you have Caitlin Clark, who can pass the ball. Now, the good thing is they've got pieces where they can play in the half court. Go ahead. You going to say something?
No.
Oh,
no.
So if
when they get up by 20, 30 points and you plug in the defense to keep them from coming back and then let Caitlin rest at the end.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about leads that they had last season, and you could never rest easy with Christy Sides.
In the basketball sense, it all makes sense. It all makes sense for them in the basketball sense, right? But what doesn't, because it's a lot more to it than just your basketball skills when it comes to putting together a championship team. It's a lot go right now. We as talented as any team before her signing. We more deeper than any team before her signing. So now we just nitpicking, right? Really, we just like, okay, what else can we get? Because we could have put a rookie in her role. I just don't think she worth the headache. Her talent don't match the possibilities of being a headache.
Yeah, the
so she's
not
worth the risk. Yeah,
the upside's not high enough, right? So thank you, Brett. Brett said, hopefully she leads with basketball and not her social justice degree. We're good. Today wasn't a good sign, though. Right. Thank you so much, Brett. What were you saying? Was it Corey or
Yeah, it's John? Corey. My only concern is all of this concern about Turner. We haven't had a single tip off. The only issue is with the people who are in the social media world. And I haven't heard about Turner being a disruptor on any other team. Right. So all of this concern about what she may or may not do with the team seems a little hyperbole. And you get another team that's doing a great job scoring, and they're really, really active in the middle, and our centers get into foul trouble. you now have someone who may not score, but will definitely keep the other team from scoring in the paint. So, and I don't know if you're going to get that out of a rookie. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch women's basketball. I just watched basketball.
Right. Yes. Young Moose, Indiana basketball country. And thank you so much. He makes a great point, right? The social media, some people call it Twitter fingers, but you're not here. Like, let me just, not to pick on Kennedy Carter, but Kennedy Carter's problem is that she was trying to allegedly beat up her own teammates. Okay. And we saw what she did with Caitlin. That's different than somebody who's on social media talking junk. But I think where it pertains to the fever is about Iowa and what she said about Iowa. And Iowa fans followed Caitlin to the WNBA. And so the fan base is not happy. But this is what I want to say. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. This front office said that they wanted someone with they wanted every piece to have great character. They wanted people who put the shopping cart away. This front office said, and I want you to hear me, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me when you think I'm wrong. But I'm just going to say, and I'm not advocating for her. I don't know nothing about her. And if you're up to me, I would be like, don't even bother. But I got to go back and think about what they said. They said that their players, and I'm assuming that's the big three, when free agency popped off, they said, all we ask of you is that you protect the locker room. We've had Kelly repeat that. We've had Stephanie repeat that. Maybe Amber has said it. But they are remembering that this is what was asked of them. That's all we ask. Protect the locker room. And they took that seriously. So I just got to believe that if they then signed her, there was a conversation that was had. There was Caitlin Clark's stamp of approval. And they felt that whatever was said, they felt like they could live with this, that this was going to be a good thing. If not, then they've lied to us. To use a phrase from To Kill a Mockingbird, they led us by the noses as asses are. Everything gets subjected to Kill a Mockingbird quotes. Okay. Greatest novel ever written. But in any case, I got to believe that if Caitlin said no, the kibosh would have been put on it. But Caitlin is only 23. and there's that pressure too. So.
I don't think Caitlin, and I love how you put that down. You're totally right in everything you just said. And I don't think Caitlin will say no to a player that can help them win, who really ain't attacked her or did nothing like that to her. Right?
The main thing.
Keep the main thing. And I believe, like I said, the tweet that you read, I'm talking about her last tweet that she did today. Mm-hmm. So she had a couple. The last one, she said something about she going to be distancing herself from social media. She's not going to be on it like that. So y'all have fun. Good luck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what tells me Kelly they had a talk. Hey, chill out with your Twitter, all that, and you'll be fine. Because no, she's not a headache in the locker room. I haven't heard nothing about that. But what I've heard is that she's a headache with Fever fans. She seems to have a problem with Indiana Fever fans when she's on Chicago Sky, and on top of, like I said, she seems to wear her race on her sleeve and her politics on her sleeve, and I just don't think our locker room we don't need that.
No, I agree. And I think there needs to be rules. I've said this. I think there needs to be rules that say, listen, during the season, really, really, as long as you represent. I mean, there are things as a teacher, my background as a teacher, there are things that they didn't want. I mean, I was a little bit defiant, I guess, but you're always representing your employer wherever you are. So I was going to say, well, maybe they need to hold back during the season, but really in general, it can do a lot of harm. Like, you need discipline if you're going to be a professional. And when you're on social media, supposedly standing for social justice, but in so doing, you isolate a bunch of people who don't think just like you. That's a problem too. But in her mind, she's doing the right thing.
Correct.
So transphobia, she mentioned. So wait, so if one of the players says, no, we don't think that men should be playing in women's sports. Yes, we do think that President Trump, happy President's Day, everybody. Yes, we do think that President Trump was right. No matter what you think about him, he was right to sign an executive order to protect women's sports. Mm-hmm. So if someone says that, is that a problem now?
For her, yes.
Because she said she sees it. If you speak against it, it sounds like she calls it transphobia.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it's towards moving into the sports world.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
So I mean, she could be, and I can't even believe that I'm sounding like I'm defending her, really, because I really some of the things that I read, obviously, right? But here's the thing, right? When it comes to her, the character, right? Mm-hmm. Kelly said the high character people and stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily, and she could be high character.
Yeah.
Just because she does stand with social activism or anything like that, it still could be a high character type of activism.
Listen, who's sorry to interrupt you, but let me ask you. Let's test your knowledge, your WNBA knowledge.
Okay.
Who, and I'm not saying it was the same as this, but I'm just gonna say, who was a WNBA player who is like the queen of activism?
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying it was the same. I'm not saying it was the same way, but she was I would say she appears to be a high quality person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know her personally, right? So I may not even agree with every position that she took on different issues, but she was still a high quality person who believed what she was doing was right. I'm imagining that Brianna Turner doesn't really think that she's doing anything wrong. She feels like she's standing up for what she believes is right. So if she can do that without denigrating her players, and then she can bring you something on the court, is that okay? Or are we totally going to go by, she said something bad. Let me tell you this. I'm going to say this, and I'm not defending her, but I'm saying if I'm in a front office, I'm not keeping someone off the team who could help because they said something bad about Iowa. I'm just not.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not looking like Iowa. I'm moving forward. Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to put her on the team because she didn't think Iowa should have had a celebration. I think that's a little over the top.
She's got one glaring issue though. So, and this will be the one time that you hear me just say it, because I just haven't said it out loud.
Okay.
She's stating that she's not going to let what happens on social media affect her. Mm-hmm. But she keeps opening her mouth. The problem is she's living in a contradiction. She's a young lady who needs to get her head together. Again, her issue is with everyone else, not necessarily her team. But she's definitely living in a contradiction.
Mm. Is that enough? Is that enough? Is that Corey?
Yes, it is.
Is that enough to keep her off the team?
No, she's not only. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about. You got the NFL, Colin Kaepernick, and kneeling, and all of this. The fact that we're doing this with the lady sport is just a little off-putting. I'm just gonna say that.
A little.
Right? So, because this is everywhere, right? We're a diverse nation with diverse people. You will not have any kind of monolithic culture on any team. We just don't have straight up homogeneous groups in one locker room. That's not even a real thing. So everybody needs to find something to do, right? But what we want to know is the girl's going to hoop. She's going to take care of business, and she's not going to disrupt the locker room. She's not going to attack her players. She's not going to come in wagging her tail saying silly things to all the other players. That's
Right.
protecting the locker room. And I think there's too many people that are making what she does out here as part of what she does in the office. We all work at places and we work with diverse people and we still get the job done. It's just not that kind of party.
Yeah. I think
this is the league that wore Jacob Blake, a woman abuser's name on their jerseys.
Right, but Jacob Blake didn't do anything in the locker room. That's what I'm saying. So,
well, she did come from. Not to cut you off, because I just want to say you gotta understand what locker room she just came from. She came from Chicago Sky's locker room.
Yes, she did.
That's
right.
a very turmoil locker room.
She came out of that locker room. So you got to understand what Kennedy Carter did, right? The only person I saw high-fiving her was that silly young freshman player, right? That rookie who obviously needs to figure out Sikkim from come here. I don't know why she was high-fiving her. I have no idea why she was doing that. But what Kennedy Carter did was deplorable. And the only thing she did was to say, hey, she can't be attacked off the court. And she wasn't attacked. The guy was asking her a simple question. And I'm with you on that. She was not attacked. But what she's trying to say is we should have the right to be whatever. I don't know what she said to Kennedy Carter. I don't know if she told her she needed to chill out, but she was protecting her teammate. She's doing the thing that she needed to do. I just want to see her do the same thing on the Fever team. Plain and simple. Protect your teammate and do what you need to do. Because if I'm on a team and a fight breaks out, I'm fighting. Next year I might be on that team and the fight breaks out and I'm fighting the people I was fighting with last year. Let's not do this. It's just not like this in men's sports. What are we doing?
Well, it's not men's sports. So, but
it is though. No, it's definitely like that in men's sports. If you're not worth the headache and you're a problem, they're not dealing with you. Period. They're not gonna sign you. So this happens in all sports, men and women's. She's a headache, period. And in this story, like she just got signed not less than 24 hours, and she already telling people, friendly reminder, I don't like discrimination, racism. Neither do we. So because she talking to Indiana Fever fans. She's not talking to just whoever. She's not just throwing this out there. She's talking to us. So as if we like misogyny and sexism and racism and that's normal for you not to like that type of stuff.
It shouldn't even need to be said.
It don't even need to be said.
Let me tell you why it was said. Like you said, she's talking because people are putting things out there on social media, and she deems the criticism to be racist.
Correct.
And that's what she said. See, and this is where we are. We've seen it with Angel Reese. We've seen it with, if you criticize, then you must be a racist, because nobody, now that I don't think you see in men's sports. With women, though, we have started, even Candace Parker said it. She was just like, a while ago, she was just like, we have got to stop this thing where women, you can't criticize their game at all. But that's where we are. And so people are coming at her. And so her response, I think, is she calls that misogyny and racism and all this stuff. And she's letting you know, I'm not down with that.
But she got an MA in social justice. Tells her she should know the criticism isn't what she's calling it. And that's what a lot of them are calling it to be, right? They calling what trolls are doing all of this stuff that's not even that. Because, again, when I read through feeds and people's feedback on something someone says, they push back. I don't see racism. I don't see none of the stuff that they're talking about. I see criticism. I see people being funny, cracking jokes, some here and there. But I don't see that. And I'm like, and if that's really happening, then why not show proof of that? I hear y'all crying. It seems like all y'all got the same script and say the same thing. Misogyny, sexism, racism, transphobia.
When you get a legend, I'm veering off a little bit, but when you get a legend like Lisa Leslie, who says, I didn't get the jobs because of sexism and racism, that's why I said what she said was unwise. Because if you don't have evidence, when everything is racist, nothing, then when it's real, nobody pays attention to it anymore because you say it like you say good morning. I'm not saying, I mean, I've seen comments on both sides. not the Indiana Fever fans. You're always going to have trolls, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just everything's racist. Oh, she didn't make a layup. Oh, you pointed out she didn't make a layup. It's racist. Oh, she traveled with the ball. You called that out. Oh, she's racist. You're not lifting up your people. I mean, the stuff. What I find fascinating, as a side note, DePope, what I find fascinating is that it's the black people. We're the ones who are like saying, cut it out. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like
right.
everybody would be more dialed in and be like, oh man, that's right. But we're just like, come on, can you give it a break? I'm going to call it out when I see it. If it's real.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
I think it's wrong that's why people do it, is because it's a conversation stopper. It's the worst thing in the world to be called. So you use it, you throw it out there, and you know, black folks, just the idea of a racist, and we don't need no proof. And that's a shame. It's a shame. So
and it's trickled down to our kids. Like, I'm coaching 4th graders right now, and had a little kid. We waiting on a lady to open the gym at his school at the elementary we practicing at. And he said, well, oh man, they racist up here. They gonna make us wait for us. Little boy, spell racist. First of all, see, where y'all be hearing this stuff from? It's like, we're like, you know. So again, I had to. It's ridiculous. She's one of those type of people, Brianna Turner, that cries racism at any drop of a hat, victimized. She's victim. It's like, yeah, and then you only averaging 1.9 minutes. Like, well, we don't need it. We don't need it. No, thank you.
Yes, Mara, thank you so much. Or Mara, that great show, Adrienne. Go Big 3 on Fever roster. Brianna's fodder to dump. Come the W. Fodder to dump. Come the W draft. Now listen, do I have anyone else? Let me go with MVP, legends, or goats, members of the channel. Anybody want to? Oh, okay, good. Wait a minute. Bianca Taylor, did you want to come on? I started with my 3 highest memberships, but some of them were kind of shy, so I said we're gonna get others on here as well. So I think somebody in the private chat said that she wanted to come on, so I put the link in that private chat. Bianca, if you're still there, I'm just seeing your private chat. I was in the regular chat, so feel free. So yeah, and anybody else want to, then yeah. And then Young Moose, thank you again. I appreciate that. Will the Fever opener have more views than the NBA All-Star game? I mean, ratings say maybe. Listen, there are people who are blaming Caitlin Clark because the NBA All-Star game wasn't a success because Caitlin Clark. How the tides have turned.
Right.
The woman basketball player didn't show up, so that's everybody's going to be mad at her. That's so wild. Okay, well, any other comments? Anybody else want to come on, or any final comments from you guys? And then I'm going to kind of bring it all together and then let you go while I go eat some spaghetti or something.
Oh. So, can I say something real quick?
Oh, hold on. Hold that thought. I'll go back to you. Manda, she said, wait, members have a private chat. How do I miss that? No, the regular live stream always has a private chat. It's there on the side. It's always, you can go into the private chat. I totally forgot about it. But as far as this one goes, this was a public chat, but it was supposed to be open mic for certain members of the channel. And I opened it up, and then I opened it up to others as well. So you are, feel free to jump in as well. Okay. Go ahead, Araseli.
Well, I saw your interview, right, with what was his name? Duncan.
Oh, yeah, Clint, right?
Clifton Duncan.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was several months ago. Yeah.
That was a really nice interview. But I was actually taken aback by your answer when he asked you if you thought it would change, if the culture of the WNBA, if you thought it would change, and you didn't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? And what brought you to that conclusion?
Okay. Well, Corey Johnson, first of all, thank you so much. He said, thank you for real talk. And thank you guys for being here for it. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to myself or me, but I appreciate that so much. Why don't I think it would change? Well, it's so, I mean, I'm not saying it cannot change, but it is so embedded. Remember, I came back to the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. I was a part of the early days of the WNBA. When I came back, it is not recognizable. This is not what it looked like when Cynthia Cooper, you know, had her Houston Comets jersey on. Even Cheryl Swoops, even Teresa Weatherspoon. It just wasn't like this. They were there to play basketball. And now when I came back, I said, this is all I could think about was, Caitlin, take your toys and go home so that I can stop watching because it was just so toxic. And I think it's so embedded in another reason why I didn't come back any sooner. You had Brittany Griner, and send the link again. Okay, thank you. You had Brittany Griner, for example. Didn't they used to want to leave for the national anthem? She ended up going to Russia, and that changed her tune. But they did the whole thing the NFL did. They went the woke route. And I don't have a lot of respect for an organization that feels like the national anthem, the greatest country on the face of the earth, even though it's not perfect. Ain't nobody, there's a reason why folks are crossing the border. It's the greatest country on the face of the earth. And you have an opportunity to play in this country. That's the difference between these guys, these ladies, and the ladies earlier. Cynthia Cooper was in her 30s. There was no WNBA. She had to play overseas in Italy, where she said it was so good to come back home, and you could even hear them cheering in English. Like, they were so thankful for an opportunity to play in America, and they played like it. Now, the culture is an entitlement culture to a large extent. That's why when Caitlin Clark shows up, it's a problem. That's why if her shoe is announced before you get your shoe, it's a problem, because I am entitled to this. Whereas in the past, they were thankful for this. And it is enabled. That's why I don't think it will change, because it is enabled. They want it to be like this. I heard, I don't know if it was Chinea Gumike or Nneka Gumike. One of them had said, I think it was Nneka. One of them said, we have considered what kind of league we want it to be. We thought about it. We understand that it's activism, and we chose this route. So that's why they would think.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the Players Association, I don't know what it's called, their acronyms and stuff for it, but I do believe that they need to overhaul that entire, team, so to speak, right? Because there needs to be a different voice for the league, and there needs to be, and I think the new players coming in, the new wave of rookies coming in, and the new players coming in from NIL and all that stuff, is going to change the tune with which they talk. And so they're going to be in the minority at some point or another, where that's when it has to change. It's going to have to change, right? So, and everybody's talking about they need more money. Of course they need more money. However, this entire change that with Caitlin coming in and stuff, they're not even going to reap those benefits until 3 to 4 years from now. That's when they can actually maybe buy out some of those investors that they have, that have too much stake in the WNBA. And that's when it can become a profitable business. At that point is when they can actually give them more of what they want, and so it's not going to happen. And in reality, Caitlin's not going to benefit from her entire, empire that she's building really at the moment.
Well, if she plays as long as Diana Taurasi did, she might, right?
I mean, she's going to benefit from it at the, towards her 28th, 29th, 20th, the 30th year.
Well, think about it. Think about it. I mean, they're laying a foundation, but they better, The window, I think, John, I just wanted to say welcome to the live stream, Mr. Liquidator. I just think about it. There's a window usually. I think that's why the Indiana Fever moves so quickly. That's why I kept saying, and the Pope, you said the same. That's why Christy Sides had to go. That's why it was. People were like, "Oh, well, she deserves. This is a business. You got time for the deserve. Like we're trying to win." And there's a small window when you have a Caitlin Clark and a Kelsey Mitchell together, you got to move forward, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the moment, like they've got to get it together. And notice you've got people coming up. You got your Jujus coming up. Mm-hmm. There are more eyes on women's basketball overall because of the Caitlin Clark effect. They need to get I heard people say early in the season that they need to get this thing together before some of these other players come up. I've heard people also say they think the new wave of players is going to flush out the old school players. I don't know.
Believe so.
I'm going to get Big Doom and Michael. I don't know how long you guys were waiting, but I scrolled up and saw.
Yeah.
So, Big Doom, what you got?
Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay. I just want to say, hey, welcome to the WNBA. Okay, I've been watching the Phoenix Mercury when you was watching the Comets. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was watching the Mercury, and I just went through this whole thing with Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Cloud down here. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I started following Indiana because Magic Johnson was my favorite player, and that's who Caitlin Clark reminds me of. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a Fever fan, listen, your front office is doing everything they can to put together a team that can win a championship, and all the pieces haven't fallen into place yet. Now, I do know this, okay? The Phoenix Mercury are trying to get Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham was recruiting her, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Indiana signed her to get her out of Phoenix. The Mercury noticed, the Fever noticed. And so they want to do everything possible to make sure that Caitlin Clark knows, hey, we did everything we could to get you a ring. Mm-hmm. Because they want her down here, and they actually tried to trade for her last year. I think they offered like 3 first-round draft picks and 2 other players, and Indiana said no. But that new collective bargaining agreement is coming up, and Caitlin's going to be a free agent after this season, and a lot of other players too. So I hear what everybody's saying. I mean, I don't, you know how this league is. It's activism. It's gotten worse. It has. They did Sophie wrong. They ran her out of there's a part of the Fever fan base that ran her out of town, and then other people got mad, and then they had to get rid of Cloud, and really messed up a team that I thought was building for something. But you're right, the criticism and the activism only seems to go one way. But unfortunately, that's just part of this league. And Fever fans that haven't been watching for a long time just don't realize that there's more players like Turner than there aren't. And they've been real lucky. That group last year that the Fever had was unique because you had a lot of people that got along together. There wasn't a whole lot of drama.
Right.
The biggest criticism was the coaching and everything. And then Alyssa Smith started acting crazy. But that was not how most WNBA teams are. You see how things are up in Seattle.
Yeah, they're special, for sure.
Yeah, and Chicago and Connecticut. A big part of the reason why Coach White left Connecticut was because she was losing control of Dejanay and Alyssa Thomas.
I believe it.
And, management chose, because from what I understand, I got some friends that work for the Mercury and the Suns, and they said that Coach White wanted to suspend Dejanay Carrington for the eye poke thing. Mm-hmm. And the Sun wouldn't let her do it.
This is what I've been trying to say to some people. Sometimes your hands are tied. Yeah. And so you get up and leave.
And that's what she did. But I would just say this because, I know the fans are upset, and I've been seeing this. They've been blowing up all day on social media. Mm-hmm. I think there's more coming. And this, if they told this player to be quiet, well, she already done violated rule number 1. Okay, there's certain fan bases you can attack. Now, I happen to be a NFL fan of the Steelers, and if you want to get your name known on social media or on ESPN, say something bad about the Steelers. And the Fever are kind of the same way. When their fan base will react when you say anything about their players or about they're going to react. And this Turner person, my concern is not her ability, because I saw her play with the Mercury. She's a good defensive player. Okay, she got caught up in Chicago with some things going on with Reese and Cardoso and even Izzy Harrison, and she just didn't get any playing time. She's a good player, but I don't know if they're going to be able to shut her up. And, you know, she already clapped back. Now, if I'm a new player on the team and they don't like me, I'm not going to be on Twitter clapping back. I'm going to shut my account down and keep it moving.
Nope. She told you she's not doing that.
She already done shown that she can't do that. So she's on a contract that's not guaranteed. Let's see what she does. I think the decision's already been made. I don't expect her to see her on the game day 1 roster when they play the Sky. I don't expect her to be on the team.
Yeah,
I really don't.
So it might not be worth it for people to be losing sleep or fighting with one another on social media, and she's just a pawn, right? Or chess pieces, the Pope said. I just want to address some, because Amanda said, and I don't know. She said, I didn't think the CBA affected becoming free agents. Can someone clarify that?
Well, what I understand is that they can renegotiate their contracts. So it's a pseudo free agent. It's almost like they're restricted free agents. But this draft class coming in this year and last year's draft class are pretty much going to have their contracts thrown out. So, you know, next year, Caitlin Clark can get a max deal. And that's why I think the Fever are moving so fast, because, you know, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Lexi's going to be looking for a raise. You got Kelsey Mitchell, who they maxed out. So they're not going to have a lot of the cap space they have this year to have all these players. That's why they're signing so many of them. But I would just say, hey, you know, because I've been watching this game for a long time and I've seen a lot of things, okay? And I'll tell you right now, fans don't understand, you don't have to like all your players, okay? I have never been a Diana Taurasi fan. I didn't like her at UConn. I don't like her now. Okay.
Sound like me.
But she done brought 3 championships to Phoenix, okay? And she's a winner. She just, I don't
like her. But there's a line. There's a line too. It's Stephanie. This is why I say Stephanie White has said, she just said in that presidential lecture series that she was speaking at Purdue, that it's not win at all costs. And that's why I say either they meant what they said or they didn't mean what they said. So they know something we don't know, and they feel a confidence that a lot of people don't feel. And she said, we're not winning at all costs, because that culture matters. So that goes to tell me either they lied or they meant what they said, and she's all right.
I think
they might have some more tricks up their sleeve.
It's both. I think it's both.
Young Moose, thank you again. And I don't think you're saying you think CeCe is leaving. You were just saying that the Phoenix wants her.
Oh yeah, they definitely want her. They had a full building billboard of CeCe when the All-Star game was here. They rolled the red carpet out for her. And I know that they had talked to the Mercury about, not the Mercury talked to the Fever about getting her. And that's why Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Clout were so, you know, friendly. And if you notice, you know, Taurasi and all them, they toned that talk down. When the Mercury played the Fever, it was hugs and kisses and everything. They was all trying to recruit Clark, and they still are. But as far as, like, you know, what you said about the locker room, you know, Stephanie White, here's the thing with her, okay? She's been so close many times. And that Connecticut team she had last year really was one other shooter away from really winning it, because they beat New York 3 out of 4 times last year. And that Connecticut team was right there. She's been to the semifinals, 4 years in a row. She tired of losing, Okay,
Yeah,
she won a championship,
Mm-hmm.
and so that fine line between I want the locker room to be pure versus I want a ring, that's a hard one to toe.
Well, I think they let us know what their first priority is. Now, ideally, you want both, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, and people want to come to Indiana, so ideally, you want the culture to be what you want it to be. Not everything's going to be perfect. You don't have to like, you don't have to go out to dinner with all of your teammates. I think those things help. I think the one thing I can say about Christy Sides is when she did begin to implement some of that team building, I think it did help. Right. And so I think if you can have good relationships, now you don't got to be best buddies, but you got to have respect, because then, I mean, you can't have, I don't want to play alongside somebody who's dogging me on social media and who's denigrating me and all this other stuff. I think that can affect your play. But if we can be respectful and have talent, I say go for it. Young Moose, but again, it's now basketball country. And thank you again. All right.
Well, I'll just close with this. Thanks for bringing me in. I'm just going to say, hey, let it pan out, because
yes, sir.
I really do believe there's some other moves to be made, and I don't know exactly if they got this person for trade bait. I really do think that they did, because she's the 9th or the 10th piece.
Right.
They're not going to have this 10th piece being this big of a headache. Okay.
Come on now. That's what
no, not at all.
So there's something else coming down the pike. I would just wait and see. But regardless if she's on the team or not, this is a championship team, and they just need to, keep everybody focused on the court and not all this other circus stuff, because I've seen good Mercury teams lose because of something, the Skylar Diggins thing. You heard about that, and that ruined the whole season fighting about that. And now they got this thing going on again. The crazy owner, they had to make him sell the team because he was saying race with the Suns, and he had to sell the Suns and the Mercury, and they ruined another team. I don't think the Fever gonna make that mistake because they can't. I mean, the iron is so hot right now. I mean, this is the perfect time to strike.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's the only time.
Yeah,
it's the only time. So yeah, I'm trying to. Anyway, I was trying to remember something. DePope, were you trying to say something before you do? Is it Seahawk or Cyhawk? Shout out to DePope, the Liquidator, Adrienne Ross. I appreciate you all. Go Fever, go CC22. Don't forget about my girls, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Absolutely not. We shall not. Thank you so much. DePope, what are you going to say? And I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to you. Love the show. Love that you did this open panel thing. I think this was pretty smooth. I liked hearing from Corey, the young lady at the top right here, young man that just came on in here. It's my dinner time, enchiladas time. You about to get your spaghetti on.
I gotta make some. I gotta cook it. Yes.
Shout out to the chat, man, and everybody, man. Listen, make sure y'all come see me on the Pope Be Frank too. And keep it up, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to Adrienne Ross and all that good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Wait,
Michael, did we hear from you? Thank you so much to Pope. I appreciate it.
No problem. Blessings.
What did Michael T? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Give us what you got.
All right. I'm gonna keep this quick.
I forgot you were there.
It's all good. I mean, I was just letting folks talk. I don't want to interrupt. But yeah, I really do think that. Well, let me just say, I don't think CC's going to leave the Midwest North area, because Carver North is already Minnesota, and Indiana done built, another Carver arena pretty much for CC. So
I agree.
It would be very hard. The only team I could see her going to outside Indiana is probably Minnesota. Again, that's already Carver North. But carrying on though, I really think that Stephanie White really means what she says about this character thing, because as the young man or gentleman said before us, it's a lot of these character things that keep teams from going over the top. And she lost control in Connecticut, and we all kind of know that there were inklings of that. I think with this front office and with the effect that CC has had with the fandom and the sellouts and all the fanfare, they know, as it's already been said a billion times, it is time to strike now. It is a delicate situation. The ember is delicate, and we really got to get this right. And I really do feel that either the front office has an ironclad hold on the situation with Brianna, or it's either or. There's no middle ground. Either they're going to deal her, or they have an ironclad situation with it, almost like I don't want to say a Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, but the talent has to trump the bad side of it. And we all know Brianna wasn't quite playing how she was, but if you're going to give us that defense and that length, and you're going to have to give to get. So I hope and pray that if we do keep her, that's how that's going to play out. Because she isn't talented enough to warrant the headache. But
Exactly. And you don't want a headache, because you don't want to have to babysit people, right? When you're trying to coach. But so thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Like, you guys just totally rock. I really enjoyed this. And I want to say this, and then I'm going to let everyone go. I want to reiterate something that I said. The front office have been making some really great moves. ESPN gave them an A in the off season, right? They've done so well. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. I believe them when they say that they took to heart when the team said, whatever you do in this free agency, protect our locker room. And so I got to believe, although I didn't like it, I wouldn't have picked her. I just wouldn't have, from what I see. I'm on the outside looking in, just like all of us. So I wouldn't have picked her from the outside looking in, right? But I'm not in. They're in. They seem like consummate professionals. They seem like they know how to build a team. So I got to believe either they brought her in and they don't intend to keep her, or they feel good about having her there, and she fits the criteria for what they're trying to build, both in terms of wins and in terms of character. I also have to believe that they did nothing without the stamp of approval from the people they're building around. Of course, they're young, so sometimes their vision is limited, but the front office isn't young. This isn't their first rodeo. And hey, she gets a block, I'm going to be cheering. How about you? I mean, she plays good defense. I'm talking about Brianna Turner. I'm going to cheer, and I'm going to pray that everything stays well, because I really believe this Indiana Fever team is special. And one of the things I hear people saying is this: they love some of the moves and they sound really good, but people kind of feel like they're losing the team that was there. That happens in sports. That's just the business. But time will tell. I just see Linda's comment. Time will tell. And sometimes players say stuff and they can be solid teammates. And sometimes, as the adults in the room, the older adults, the more experienced adults, you have to say, okay, you've said enough, no more. And that should be a criteria, I feel. So those are my thoughts. Time will tell. I would have gone a different direction, but they went that direction. So I'm going to trust the process, and let's go Fever. All right. So that's where I am. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it, from the members of the channel to others who jumped in and shared. I want to do more of this. So those of you who are a little bit nervous, you see, this is piece of cake. So you jump on next time as well. Okay. Dream says she plays well. All is forgiven. Listen, nothing help you forgive like winning. I tell you what. All right. But we'll see. Thank you, everybody, so much. Hit the like button on your way out, like Martha has told you, and others. All right. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.